Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Saving Souls on Monday, the shoe review channel for the style-conscious man who wants to look like a boss on a budget. I shop at thrift stores and I shop online. I'm always hunting for the best deals and I find them. Subscribe to the channel, follow each week. This week we're talking about Ralph Lauren, the Ridgmore Mock Toe ankle boot. Look at that. That's a beautiful boot. I don't know if any of you out there have a favorite designer, a favorite fashion designer. Well, Ralph Lauren is definitely mine and has been since I was a kid. In my opinion, Ralph Lauren really emulates a certain type of American culture. It is a lifestyle brand, and it's really an interesting story. So let's talk about the company, and then we'll get into the shoe. So Ralph Lauren, or should I say Ralph Reuben Lifshitz, was born in 1939 in the Bronx, New York. I had heard that he went to PS 80, the same school that Christian Dior went to, but they didn't go at the same time. So he grew up in a working class area to Jewish parents. And when he was 16, him and his brother were sick of being teased because of their awful name. And they changed it to Lauren. And why they chose Lauren, I'm not sure. Some people say it was because of Lauren Bacall. Now, Ralph Lauren grew up watching the Hollywood movies. And he loved Clark Gable, Cary Grant, Fred Astaire, the whole era of really well-dressed, kind of quiet luxury, this elegance that was seen all throughout Hollywood. And he liked to dress that way. Well, in 1962, I believe, after a couple years in college, he went and enrolled in the Army, got out, and went and worked for Brooks Brothers. And he's selling ties, and then he eventually started making ties. And one of the fascinating things about the Ralph Lauren story is it's always been reported that he was making ties out of rags. So it really is a true rags to riches story, considering this guy's a billionaire now, and he's from the Bronx. He didn't play polo, and he didn't grow up rich, but he had this idea for a lifestyle brand of sophisticated luxury, of this kind of luxury sportswear. Playing golf, playing tennis, horseback riding, lounging around on the yacht or at the country club. And these were experiences he didn't really grow up with. Now, I jumped on the Ralph Lauren bandwagon in the 80s. Geez, I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and my mother bought me the popular book, which was kind of a parody, but ended up being kind of a fashion guide. It was called the Preppy Handbook. And the preppy fashion was an Ivy League prep school kind of attire. And Ralph Lauren didn't invent it, but he certainly did capitalize off it. And he was right there from the beginning. And we all loved polo shirts and anything with that little polo guy on it. But let's talk about these boots. This is the Ralph Lauren Mock Toe, Moccasin Toe, Ridgmore ankle boot. And one of the cool things about this boot is the sole. It has this cork rubber. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you look at it up close, and this caught my eye as soon as I saw it at the store, it has little pieces of cork embedded in it. So I can only imagine when they make it, when the rubber is in its somewhat liquid form, when it's heated up in its molten form, they literally pour in pieces of cork, and then they make the mold, and then when it hardens, it just looks super funky. So that drew me to this shoe right away. Now this has a very soft leather, and then it has a suede stripe going down it, which is nice and red and a little bit controversial. But I love this style of boot, and several different companies make this style of boot. But this is really great. Now this has been discontinued since 2010. So you can't go onto the Ralph Lauren website or Macy's or wherever and buy this. I got this at Goodwill for $10. They originally sold for $350. It looks like it's Goodyear welted, and I'm not sure if it is. It might be, but it also might just be cemented. It might be glued. It's a somewhat lightweight shoe, and I'm sure it's made in China, but I don't know that because it's not stamped, but you know how it goes. A lot of these designers are outsourcing their stuff, and that's one of my complaints with Ralph Lauren. That's been one of a lot of people's complaints with Ralph Lauren, and if anybody out there remembers the 2012 Olympics, and Ralph Lauren did the uniforms for the American team, for all the American teams. And they were quite cool, at least I thought. But it turned out every single one of those uniforms was made in China. You know, who cares, right? But it is the Olympics. We are competing against China, and we're also competing against them economically on a global scale. You know, it was just kind of a bad look. Now, what would you wear with such a cool boot? Because this really is cool. I'll give you one really nice outfit. I would go with some really clean, really well-fitting Levi Strauss jeans. And these aren't baggy, but they're not skinny jeans. These are slim fit jeans, which is a kind of a tailored look. And then I would wear just a red t-shirt that has a couple buttons and my cashmere Ralph Lauren sport coat. And that's a great look with these boots. And I would add to it, as you can see on the table here, my super cool Invicta Fire watch. The face kind of looks like fire. They make a blue one, a green one. I think they might have a black one. I'm not sure. I wanted to get all the colors, and I got the red one, and that goes pretty well with these boots. So let's end the video off with a style tip. I like to lace you guys up with a style tip, and I want to talk about fragrance oils. Have you ever seen fragrance oils? These are super cool. They come in impressions of all the designers, and this one, appropriately, is polo black. We got a black outfit. We got polo shoes and a polo jacket. Why not wear polo black? And it has a little roll-on, like a deodorant. And you just roll it right onto your skin. This stuff is amazing. It doesn't project as far as a cologne because it doesn't have alcohol in it. This is just the oil. Some people like that because it's a little bit more natural. So if you haven't been turned on to fragrance oils, I got this one from a company called Quality Fragrance Oils. They're not paying me for the advertisement, so, you know, shop around. There's many companies that sell them. I love Polo Black. It's a great fragrance to go with these shoes. And I love fragrance oils. I have a whole bunch of them. So that's my style tip. One last look at these shoes. Don't go nowhere. Look at that. That's a beautiful boot. Saving Souls on Monday. Thanks for watching.